Hello everyone, welcome back to Lecture 3 in this Learn to Speak Basic Conversational French course. Here we're going to have a look at much more than bonjour, so greetings and starting a conversation. This is where we get to speak some French for the first time, so just take it at your own pace, as I say. Don't worry too much, and let's just have a little look at what we're going to cover. So a little quick note to the viewers, this is maybe a little bit unusual, not everyone does this. But what I've come up with is a new phonetic. That might sound like a bold claim, but unfortunately there's a sound in French, or there's a couple of sounds in French that we don't have in English. So it's quite difficult sometimes to get across how it should sound, especially on paper. So if you were looking at this with no sound on, you probably wouldn't have a clue what I was talking about. But hopefully, once we've gone through this quickly, we'll be able to have a look at how it's used, and you'll be able to remember it, because I have used it quite a lot, as I say. So you'll see a lot of the course phonetic ZH. Now, it's not a recognised phonetic. It's pronounced je, and the je sound, I've given it the tag of the soft J. Now, ZH was the only way I could come up with that. If you can come up with a better one, fantastic. If you want to take notes and change that around, and it's easier for you, then great. But as I say, we don't have a sound to represent that. So what I've gone with is je. So I want you to remember that, because you're going to see it a lot. And in some of the printouts for the course, obviously there's no voice to go with that, so you are going to need to remember this, which is good. So we don't have this sound in English, as I say. It's not an officially recognised phonic in my native tongue, which obviously is English. It's purely my own creation, and if you prefer to use your own way, as I say, that's brilliant. If you want to do that, it makes it easier for you, fantastic. But all of you out there maybe who work with English, just be aware, as I say, that I am making this up, so don't shout at me too much. Okay, let's move on. So, hello and goodbye, our first real French, and usually the first thing you'd say to someone when you meet them. So let's have a little look down here. We have bonjour. So we would use bonjour in first encounters. So the first time we meet them, that could be the first time of the day with someone we already know. It is quite formal, so we could use it with people that we don't know, for walking into a shop, that kind of environment. And then when it comes to leaving, we would go for au revoir. Now, that's quite unusual, because the two words in French, they seem to merge. Instead of saying au revoir, you will find that most people merge it into one, which becomes au revoir. So it's your choice, really. If you want to go with au revoir, fantastic. If you prefer au revoir, much better, much easier to remember. But if you see it on paper, it could get confusing. So really, that's up to you. As I say, that again is quite formal. So you'd use it for end of the phone call, or obviously leaving the shop, as I say. So a little bit more informal now. Informal obviously being with friends or people that you've known for a long time. So instead of bonjour, you could lead with salut, which is the third one down. I will from now on, in fact, use the mouse pointer on screen, so it's a little bit easier for you. But for this one, because it's quite simple, we'll just go ahead as we are. So salut, which can be hi, and it can also be bye, which is quite handy. One word for both, which is very much like ciao in Italian. So you can say salut as you get there, you can say salut as you leave. As I say, situation-wise, that's useful for friends and in a bar. Ça va? So that's more sort of how's it going? It's also how are you, but it's more how's it going. It's again quite informal. If you were saying that kind of thing to somebody that you didn't know, there are different ways of saying it. You'd probably say vous allez bien? But we're not going to cover that for now, as I say, because the likelihood is if you're going to use these words, you're going to be using it with people that you already know, or people who aren't going to tell you off too much for using something informal. So that's for close friends, as I say, or people that you've known for a long time. And salut, ça va, putting the two together there. So it's hey, how are you? That's quite good to know. That's something that you'll use when you meet people up. You know, you meet in a bar, you meet in a social place. It's just a fantastic way of saying hello. Personal questions. So you might meet somebody, you want to know how they are, you might want to know what's been going on in their life. So we'll lead with comment ça va? Comment ça va? Okay, and we use that for how are you? That's quite a general one, as I say. That can be used with friends, that can be used with people that you don't know in this case. Comment allez-vous? Comment allez-vous? Okay, you notice there that the T from the end of the word comment merges really onto the second word aller. That's just because the T is then followed by a vowel, and the French don't like it when their language doesn't flow very well. So we use that, as I say, for how are you. That's a bit more formal. Allez is the respectful way of saying you. So it's used for your elders, it's used for people you don't know, maybe business associates as well, people who aren't necessarily friends that you socialise with. Comment vas-tu, which is the you form of people that you do know, or you'd use that for younger people, especially children. You wouldn't use aller for children, you'd use va. So comment vas-tu? So that's how are you, very informal. Quoi de neuf? Now this is a bit of slang. If you don't feel comfortable using it, that's fine. Again, if it's with people who are maybe business associates, probably best to leave this one out. Quoi de neuf? What's new? And comment va ta famille? That's comment va ta famille? And that's how is your family. So if you want to maybe inquire a family that you've known for a long time, that's quite a useful one there. Pleasantries. Now, you'll find if you go to France especially, I don't know about Canada, I've never been, I can't comment on Canada, but especially in France, when you walk into a shop, everyone says hello, which is quite different to the UK, I'm sure you'll find, and they're very, very polite. They like to have their say over everything. So, if we lead, I've used phonetics down the side, as you may have seen, just as a bit of a side note there. Again, these aren't recognised phonetics, but the upside down E's and the actual phonetics can be quite hard to read. So what I've done is I've simplified this right down, so that if you get to the end of the course, there is actually a section at the end, which you'll see, which prints out all of these PowerPoint slides, so you can carry them around with you. I just thought it'd be easier, without me here to lead it for you, to have a little look at the phonetics, see how it should be said, and hopefully you'll be able to get away with it, and be able to progress on your own. So, if we lead with merci, now you'll probably know this one already, quite a useful one, used in every situation, and obviously that means thank you. Merci beaucoup means thanks a lot. Merci beaucoup. That's quite good, quite a useful one. Again, you'd be more expected to use the word merci, but merci beaucoup, if you really, if someone's helped you out, it might be a useful one. Je vous remercie. So that's thanks again, okay? So that literally means I thank you again. And at the end of phonetics there, that's the first use you'll have seen of me using the ZH, which if we went back to the earlier slide, the ZH representing the soft J, the je sound. So, je vous remercie. Thank you again. De rien. Okay, this one you'll probably come across quite a lot. People say it quite often, especially when you've said thank you for something. De rien. Now there's that R sound that we spoke about earlier as well, the really throaty R sound. And that's quite handy, as I say, so you'll hear that quite a lot when you go to the country. It's nothing. Je vous en prie. Again, we're merging the S and the E there from vous, the second word in, and on, the third word in, because the on starts with a vowel. Je vous en prie. Okay, we use that for you're welcome. That's usually quite formal, that's something that you'd find in a shop. Okay, next one down. C'était mon plaisir. C'était mon plaisir. Okay, that was my pleasure or my pleasure. And finally at the bottom there we've got ravi de vous connaître. Ravi de vous connaître. And that is pleased to meet you. So once you've said hello to somebody, that's quite a nice thing to say maybe at the end of the conversation, or to say after someone said hello. And if you follow the phonetics down the side, the bottom one especially, ravi de vous connaître. And what I've used is I've used the hyphen there to sort of show you when there's a break in the word. So connaître. Okay, I hope that's useful for you. If not, please do leave me some feedback at the end. That'd be grand. Au téléphone. So slightly different protocol when on the phone in France. Very simple over here. Hello, goodbye. So you probably expect it to be bonjour. However, most people use these three phrases, which are slightly different. People do say bonjour, especially when you're talking to a receptionist. But if you're talking to a friend, especially, we'd use allô. Allô. You'll probably hear that quite a lot. If you're out and about in France, or you're out and about in Canada maybe, and you're on your phone, or someone's on their phone, you'll probably hear them say allô. Much more used, as I say, but very informal. Okay, number 2. Est-ce que je peux parler avec, and then the person's name, s'il vous plaît. Now, s'il vous plaît is something that you'll see quite a lot. It's something that we use all the time. There's only one real way of saying it, and it means please. Now, I know the phonetics underneath might seem quite confusing to some people, so if you try and follow those as I go through the French, and you'll hopefully be able to see where we're up to. So let's just say the person's name in this case is Bob, just because it's nice and simple to remember. Okay, est-ce que, so that's could I or can I? Je peux. Okay, that needs to be with the est-ce que. The est-ce que is the actual start to a question. That's how we make a question. The je peux is can I. Parler is to speak. Avec is with. And then the person's name, so that's Bob. S'il vous plaît. So all together, est-ce que je peux parler avec Bob, s'il vous plaît? And then that translates, as we say, to could I speak with Bob, please? Something which would be very useful. Not just on the phone as well, you can use that in other places as well, with friends, etc., etc. Number 3, merci, au revoir. So if you follow the phonetics at the bottom, merci, au revoir. That's thank you and goodbye, useful for informal and formal. So you can use that next time you're on the phone, next time you speak to a French person. You can use it in conversation, doesn't have to be on the phone, you can use it face to face. Merci, au revoir, which is just a nice tidy way of finishing off. Okay, we're going to leave it there for the greetings and pleasantries section. So what I'll do is I'll let you go back over that at your own pace, and I shall see you in lecture 4. Thank you very much. Bye bye.